Hi, I'm Kyla from Kyla Brush Arts, and I wanted to take a few minutes today to share a little bit with you about storying trauma. So over the course of my journey as an artist, I spent a lot of time storying trauma. And I thought that I would share today something that was helpful for me along the way, in case it's something you want to explore for yourself. So looking back over the process, what I realized was that when I first began painting about different woundings that I had in my life, they were very literal. I took an Indigenous art therapy course through the university, and we learned about this idea of actually documenting your trauma and your woundings on the back of your painting. So the earlier paintings that I created were very literal. So we can think of like wounds to the body, wounds to the heart, wounds to the mind. And they came out again as these images that were really straightforward, and they were about trauma. And sometimes on the back I would document and I would write different things that had happened to me. And those paintings were harder to keep, to be honest. In fact, I didn't keep a lot of them. A few of them actually went in the garbage. Some were painted over. It's hard to look at those different things reflected back to you. So even though in other videos I've talked about how the canvas can hold your story, sometimes your story is hard to look at when it's painted right in front of you. Over the course of time, I transitioned from painting literal images to painting more symbolic images. So as my art evolved and I was processing a lot of things that had happened in my life, I used symbols in my art to communicate different stories and experiences and heartaches and different traumas specifically. And those images were powerful and they made sense to me, and they were a way for me to process. And then as I painted further along into my journey, I started to realize that I had the autonomy to lean in with my soul or not. And what I mean by that is that once you go through the process of painting the literal images of things that have happened to you, and you transition to painting symbolic images of things that have happened to you, you then have a choice, I think. And I think the choice is that you have this freedom of expression. All of a sudden, you can lean in with your soul when you feel like you need to process. And you also have space to lean out if you don't feel like processing. And for me, that's been the journey. It's been transitioning from painting art symbolically to feeling like if something comes up, I might lean in my art, and I might not. And I think that through this process, I was able to get to this place where I could breathe when those ideas and images came up, and I could choose to explore them in the moment, or I could choose not to explore them in the moment. And that's the soul lean. And I think that's like for me like the last part for where I got to, and it's where I'm at right now. But I don't think I could have gotten here if I didn't start by painting the images literally. So looking back, I wanted to share this with you because it was something that was really helpful for me, and it's personal, so it might not work for you, but it might, you know, so it's worth a try if you're curious about exploring how to process like really big emotions, from grief to trauma to loss to heartache to physical pain in your body, this literal to symbolic to soul lean. Map it out, see what happens. Thanks for watching.